Hey Diamond, it's Sway, guys. I'm back again with another video. Today we are reacting to another Anicap. Boy is actually a monster that eats demons to gain power of immortality, making all demons fear him. Let's get into it, guys. This is going to be interesting one.
Hi, I'm Charles with Anicap. The story begins as the 11-year-old Kotoko is kidnapped by yokai and asked to become the goddess of wisdom. 6 years later, she visits Kuro, a man whose life she previously saved and fell in love with, but he already has a girlfriend named Saki. She's a year older than him and they have been dating each other since high school. Kotoko lost all hope when she heard that they are going to marry after they graduate. She kept tabs on Kuro for 2 years until the present day when Saki breaks off their engagement. They have since broken up, so Kotoko presses an advantage to strike up a conversation with him. She confesses her feelings for him and that she wants to date him and wants to be his girlfriend. She has had this one-sided love for him for the last
He looking like, yeah, I just got out of a relationship. I don't know.
2 years, but he takes it as a joke and explains he doesn't want to go out with anyone for a while. Kotoko asks him why they broke up. Calling it a kappa seemed to fit best because it wasn't a human or an animal, but it was definitely some kind of moving, breathing life form. The next day, they found a body in the river near there. It was ruled an accident, but what caused it is still unclear. Saki is brave and she doesn't believe in yokai or ghosts, but during that time she got scared and clung to Kuro, but he ran away like a coward. After that, she said she never knew he was that kind of person, moved away for her new job, and broke up with him. Kotoko calls him out on the lie and asks who exactly left
Said she ain't want nobody that was gonna be running away scared.
Saki there and ran off. She suggests that Kappa was the one who ran away in fear when he saw Kuro next to Saki. She shows sympathy for that Kappa who ran into him in the middle of the night. Kotoko says she is quite knowledgeable about creatures similar to that one. This town and even this hospital has yokai, ayakashi, specters, and demons lurking everywhere, quietly observing them. Most of them want no harm, but they exist everywhere. Kotoko reveals most yokai are terrified of Kuro, and also reveals that when she was 11 years old, she got kidnapped by these creatures for 2 weeks. They want her to be their goddess of wisdom.
She got kidnapped for 2 weeks. How did she get away?
Ever since then, whenever they have problems or conflicts with one another, they come from all over the country to ask her to mediate or come up with solutions. She shows them that her right eye and left leg are both prosthetic, the cost of becoming a goddess.
Oh.
Afterwards, she takes a bus where Okimusa, a deceased samurai, asks her if she is not hurt, and informs her a Bua Yaikashi is infesting the library.
Who the heck is that? Oh, he looks scary, got blood all dripping down his face.
Kuro is not satisfied with what Kotoko said, so he decides to research on his own. Kotoko waits outside for Kuro when Bake comes and informs her that the library's barrier has been broken. She asks Kuro to help with the Ayakashi to prove she is a goddess. She tries to convince the Ayakashi as they must maintain a balance between the world of humans and the world of Ayakashi. However, this Ayakashi has gone mad and refuses to listen to her. Kuro then saves her and runs downstairs. Kotoko tries to use a fire extinguisher to stop the rampage done by the Ayakashi, but that doesn't work. Kuro then has to save her again. Kuro fearlessly allows the Ayakashi to sever and eat his arm.
Oh no, he got his arm bit right off.
Kotoko recognizes his unfazed look is the same as the one he had 2 years ago when he was about to fall, but she saved him. To Kotoko's surprise, his arm completely regenerates and the Ayakashi melts and dies. Kuro explains that his flesh is poison to them, and when he was 11, he ate 2 different kinds of yokai flesh. Later, as Kuro pays a visit to his cousin in a hospital, a long-term hospital patient, he tells Kotoko he ate mermaid flesh, which should have made him immortal and given him eternal youth. But the second yokai he ate reduced the immortality to a powerful healing ability. Kotoko asks him what the other one was, but he changes the subject and attempts to leave. He
said she don't need to know all my secrets.
Reveals his flesh has become poisonous to yokai. Kotoko explains that she is going to see a giant serpent who is the guardian spirit of the mountains. She asks if he can come along, but he refuses. About 10 days ago, one of its servants visited her and explained that the guardian is in trouble. So this is her job as a goddess of wisdom of the specters. Kuro asks her if she runs into an aggressive monster like on that day, what will she do? She doesn't have any supernatural power which would save her other than being able to communicate with Ayakashi and touch ghosts. The reason he gives for not being able to go with her is because he wants to enjoy the pork miso soup he made last night. Kotoko would later visit the serpent not knowing Kuro followed and is watching her. The serpent wants to know why that woman disposed of a body in his swamp. Kotoko explains that about a month ago, a man was found dead in the Tsukana swamp. It was considered murder, but he had been stabbed in the chest with a sharp knife. Eventually, a 30-year-old woman named Aoi was arrested as a suspect. They got her confession, but There are many questions that are still remaining. Kodoko thinks she threw the body into the swamp to hide it, but the serpent saw her that night. She threw the body into the river that the serpent drinks from time to time. Animal corpses easily float in it, and even trash. The serpent also reveals that the woman didn't put anything on the body to weigh it down. The body simply floated on the water surface and was immediately discovered. The serpent also heard her saying, "I really hope they find you." When the police ask her about that, she reveals
She got some type of condition that she can't control what she do or something? What the heck?
that she dumped the body there so the serpent would eat him. This statement also appeared in the newspapers. Aoi lived at the base of the mountain. She grew up listening to these legends and actually believes in the man-eating serpent. Kodoko reasons that Aoi wanted the serpent, not the police, to find the body and eat it, but the serpent is unsatisfied with this explanation. Kodoko then tries to give a proper explanation that can satisfy the serpent. 5 years ago, Aoi had a boyfriend named Maki, but he died with a different woman who was his co-worker and would look like a double suicide.
Oh, what? He died with his co-worker. So did she kill him? Did she find out they was cheating and she killed both of them together? That's messed up.
Maki worked in the accounting department of a large construction firm. Things started to light up after he died. He had messed with some numbers and embezzled a large amount of money, but he realized that he wouldn't be able to hide much longer, so he convinced the woman to die with him. Aoi was deeply hurt by this and returned to her.
He convinced her to die with him and she said yes? No way. No way am I sacrificing my life for somebody else.
Family's house at the base of Mount Sukuna. She lived as a shut-in for about 2 years, but 2 years later, Yoshihara, a co-worker of Maki, showed up at Aoi's house and apologized for what happened 5 years ago. He confesses that he was the one who killed Maki and also the one who embezzled the money. Maki and that woman found out about what he was doing and told him to confess or they will make this public. So he killed them and got away with the embezzlement.
He killed them?
But starting this year, he was met with a series of misfortunes. His wife and child died in an accident and a malignant tumor was found in his body. Yoshihara thought this was happening because of the incident 5 years ago, so he wanted to confess his crime to Aoi. He also contacted Maki's brother, but he was busy at that time, which led Yoshihara to see Aoi first. Kodoko believes Aoi is actually protecting Maki's brother,
he should go turn his stuff in and get locked up.
Who was the one that really stabbed Yoshihara. After sending the real killer away, she decided to dump the corpse in the swamp in the mountains to wash off any traces of the true killer. Aoi tried to get rid of any trace of the true killer at her house, but what about the outside? There's no telling what traces could have been left behind. That is why she dumped the body as an offering to the serpent, a former water god, hoping it would rain and wash away evidence.
Is the one that dumped the body.
The serpent still has some doubts, like why offering the body.
But why did she get rid of the real killer's tracing though? Like she didn't want him to get caught. For what though? Like I would have let him got caught, you know?
The corpse of a middle-aged man makes serpents angry. Kodoko tells them that there are 2 types of rain rituals. First is to pray to a water god and have them grant your wish. Second is to make the water god angry so that he would make it rain. Kuro reveals himself, questioning why Kodoko keeps referring to him as her boyfriend. Confused by all the theories, the serpent demands to know the real reason Aoi dumped the body. Kodoko finally explains that Aoi was actually wishing the police would find something. She had previously tossed something away in the swamp, and after murdering Yoshihara, she figured she should retrieve it. However, it was impossible for her to find what she had thrown into the swamp all on her own. That's why she decided to get the police to help. If she told them she had dumped a murder weapon here, there's a good chance the police would have searched the swamp. It wasn't a dead body she wanted them to find, it was something she had tossed into the swamp before. She tossed it in quite a while ago, so there was no guarantee that it'd be found.
I wonder what it is.
That's why she couldn't stop herself from whispering a prayer. Aoi had been pregnant when she heard Maki committed suicide.
Pregnant?
She thought her boyfriend betrayed her, so she returned home from living alone in the city. Kodoko assumes she probably got rid of most items related to her boyfriend during her move. Even if she had kept a couple of pictures and presents, she could have just thrown them in the trash or burned them. Kuroko thinks that she also threw the baby she had with her boyfriend. Shortly after her boyfriend's death and subsequently moving back home, Aoi realized that she was pregnant with his child. Because she didn't know the truth at the time, she saw it as the child of the man who betrayed her. Despite the child being blameless, she likely still wondered what she should do. But then one day, she ended up having a miscarriage at home and the corpse of the fetus ended up in her hands.
Was she stressing that bad?
Unable to tell anyone about it, she dealt with it all alone.
No.
And then last month, she found out the truth about her boyfriend's death and regretted her actions even further. She figured she should probably try to find the fetus and give it a proper burial. That's why she thought up the plan to have the police search the swamp. The serpent accepts this explanation, and as they leave, Kuroko explains to Kuro that she simply gave the serpent the most likely explanation. 2 years later, Steel Lady Nanase causes a car crash and disappears. Saki, Kuro's ex, is now a full-fledged officer and investigates the case of a college student. A girl wielding a steel beam about 2 meters long who was wearing a flashy frilly red and black dress and a huge bow in her hair, but who somehow had no face, suddenly appeared in front of his car, so he panicked and swerved off the road. A series of mysterious incidents have been happening in the city. She and Terada, her partner, speak of the urban legends going around in the city.
Whatever he eating, that look good. I want one.
In particular, the legend of Steel Lady Nanase comes up. Nanase Karen, the idol who died at the beginning of this year. The media was abuzz over her due to some unsavory rumors, and to get away from the media, she held up in a hotel in Makaruzaka City. But then she died when a steel beam from a nearby construction site fell on her.
Dang,
Now, there are rumors that she appears every night in Makaruzaka City. She's even wearing her outfit from when she was an idol and wielding the steel beam that crushed her. The faceless ghost of Nanase Karen. Saki
Oh wait, she's dead, but she's not. Or is that like, so is that her spirit just out in the world?
believes Nanase is real. She's a real ghost that has nothing to do with some other crime or plot.
Damn.
No matter what happens in the future, the
real
police won't be
ghost?
able to deal with her. She believes that yokai and ghosts actually exist in this world. She tells Terada that she saw yokai before and ended up having to break up with her ex. Terada wonders if her ex was a yokai, and Saki explains that she saw his healing ability in the past and also saw his face when the yokai appeared in the Kamo River. That yokai even said humans are so terrifying, they will consume anything and are willing to mix with anything to create monsters.
His face was straight. She looked at him like looking at him.
Later that afternoon, Saki comes face to face with Kodako, who is fighting the Steel Lady Nanase. Tired of being afraid, Saki tries to defeat Nanase herself, but she is unable to touch her because she is human. Kodako saves Saki from getting killed by Nanase. During the fight, Kodako's prosthetic leg comes loose just as Nanase runs away. Saki is confused to see that she was able to kick a ghost. Kodako tells her to forget what happened. She will take care of Steel Lady Nanase and explains that she shouldn't tell anyone about this, not even the police. Saki identifies herself to Kodako as a police officer. She tries to take her to the police station to get an explanation about Nanase's other attacks. Kodako recognizes her as Kuro's ex-girlfriend. She boldly claims that she is Kuro's current girlfriend, astonishing Saki, who had been brooding over her breakup just a few minutes earlier. Thanks for watching part 1.
Wait, hold up. First of all, at the end of that looked like old girl was about to punch her soon as she said that she's her ex's current girlfriend. I saw the fist. Y'all saw the fist go like that? She's about to sock her. But thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned. I'll be back with more videos, and I'm out.